I'll be honest with you, I'm at the point where every time a studio announces another live-action remake, I get really annoyed because the problem isn't just the blatant cash grab. It's that the original art style was part of the storytelling, and these remakes strip that away and give nothing meaningful back. And that's pretty obvious with the upcoming Moana remake, especially after seeing what happened with The Lion King. With a movie like the original Moana, the animation isn't just pretty visuals, it's how the story is told. The exaggerated expressions, the color palettes, the stylized movements, those choices are all tuned and contribute to the emotional tone of the story. Moana's world is vibrant, fluid, and expressive. The ocean literally has a personality. The sky and water reflect her emotional journey, and characters move in ways that normal people can't do in real life. Now, when you decide to turn that into a realistic live-action movie, a lot of that magic dies immediately. So the original Moana movie is already recent, already loved, and already visually captivating. So when a studio says, we're doing it again, but with real people and more realistic visuals, it raises one question. Why? Just why? What does realism add to a story where the ocean is alive, the demigod is constantly shapeshifting? In animation, Moana can be as expressive as she needs to be. Her fear, determination, frustration, they are written all over her damn face, in ways that are easier to read. So in a live-action version, you're suddenly limited by physics and human performance, because real people cannot move like animated characters. So this ultimately flattens the overall mythic feel of the movies. The original movie was charming and magical, and now we're gonna get a terrible CGI version that nobody asked for. And genuinely, what is going on with The Rock's head? He is known for being bald, so now you're just gonna slap a wig on top of his head? Nah, it doesn't look right. So already the remake feels like it's working against what made the original special. Also, if you'd like to see more movie rants, then don't forget to sub to the channel. Cool? Great. So when they first announced the live-action Lion King, it sounded exciting on paper. Realistic animals and advanced CGI. The same iconic songs, and I was actually excited for it. So I watched it, but then after like 30 minutes, I just turned off the TV because it was the same story but with realistic animals. That's literally it. Animated Simba and Mufasa have huge readable faces, eyebrows, big eyes, exaggerated reactions. You can easily read their emotions. Now, in the hyper-real version, the lions look like real animals, which basically means their faces are just flat and not expressive. You're being told this is a tragic, emotional moment, but you don't really see that on their faces. So once that feeling of, wow, this looks real, faded, there was nothing new to hold on to. No fresh ideas on the story, no bold changes, no new character dynamics, just a visually impressive copy. Remakes can make sense when they bring a new theme, new time period, new cultural views, or fix problems from the original. But with something like Moana, none of that is really happening. So this remake is just absolute garbage. The story isn't dated, the animation isn't outdated, the themes, identity, courage, heritage, connection to the ocean are still really good. So what's left? Nostalgia, brand recognition, and the promise of seeing it again but making it more realistic. And that's why it feels like such a cash grab. Taking a complete, already great movie and redoing it mainly because the name is guaranteed to sell. Not because anyone had new creative ideas on it, but because the IP is valuable, and audiences can feel the emptiness. You go in wanting to revisit something you love, and you walk out thinking, yeah, I could have just watched the original instead. Now, the big problem is the mismatch between the type of story and the hyper-real style they're trying to force. Moana is mythical, playful, and spiritual. The Lion King is Shakespeare with singing animals and stylized African landscapes. Now, when you push them into grounded, realistic visuals, you remove that symbolic layer. A stylized sunrise can represent hope and the future, and a realistic sunrise is just the sun. That's why I'm not a huge fan of these remakes, because they don't feel unique at all. The original art style was chosen to match the story's heart, and the remakes have visuals that don't connect with the story. At the end of the day, I'm not against live-action movies. I'm against remakes that ignore why the original worked. That's why I enjoyed the Mufasa movie. It used the same realistic visuals, but it told a different story, and I absolutely loved it. Moana and The Lion King were stories perfectly aligned to their art styles. Taking that away and dropping the same script into a realistic skin suit does not make it fresh, it just makes it empty. Now, a lot of these remakes feel less like passion projects and more like very shiny, very expensive photocopies.